they were finally able to beat a team with a winning record. So now people are a little bit wary of the team. Well, interesting now because a lot of people were saying like prior to this win that they haven't beaten anyone, no one with a winning record. Like I know the Rams are now 500. They beat one. They were a winning team when we were playing them. So I don't know if this counts as a 500 team or a winning team, but I'm hoping for the plus side of a winning team here. That being said, I don't know if people are going to start being more uh, what's the word, like noticing. Well, I guess like they'll notice this team more now. I mean, you're 6-2, tied in the division for Green Bay. I think the tied in the division for Green Bay part is the thing most people will focus on. So I think this will give Minnesota more of a uh, more recognition along the stretch here. But first, I need to get something out of the way, which the hit on Bridgewater. I think that's clearly one of the main focuses this week in terms of recapping last week. Well, yesterday's game. So I'm not gonna say whether I think it's dirty or not. I don't want to get into that mess. I can let you guys determine that. You can go into comments and go through it if you'd like. It's your choice, really. But should he not have done it? Probably not, but it's I feel like it's something like you can't do much about it once it's done, like, so it is what it is. And I know LaMarcus Joyner said it was a bang bang play. He thought he was going to make another move, which I think is a little wrong, judging how I think he launched when he was almost like halfway down into his slide. So I don't know. You can call it dirty. I'm not going to say it is or isn't. I have my own opinion, but I'll keep it to myself on this one. Too much controversy around it, I feel. But Bridgewater's not the first quarterback to be hit during a slide, and he certainly won't be the last. So I think he did pass his first concussion test today, which is a good sign. Zimmer said he thinks he'll go. I like the odds of Teddy Bridgewater playing in Oakland. I don't know. So I like the chances here. That being said, let's get back into the full game thing prior to that. So the defense played phenomenally, even though we had Sharif Floyd out, we had Eric Kendricks out, Audie Cole fractured his ankle, so we had to put Brandon Watts in at outside linebacker. Then we had to move Chad Greenway on the inside, who I think played most, if not all, of the game, if I'm not mistaken here. So that surprised me a little bit that he would play most, if not all, on that, because Greenway. I don't have much faith in Greenway in terms of coverage, so even though he does have the pick six this year, but I don't have all the faith in the world on Greenway in coverage. I don't know if that's just a me thing or an everyone else thing, but I think that's I don't know. So, but the defense did play phenomenally. I know. I think Wayne's played well when he got in. So I am starting to think they should be playing Wayne's more than Newman because, like, once Newman was out of the game, I feel like we saw most of those big pass plays being shut down a little bit more, especially like on that, what was it, like a 53-yarder to Kenny Britt. So like on that, Wayne's can keep up with him. So, and I think Wayne's is a little bit taller. Like I know he's 6'1". I think Newman's around 5'11" ish, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but so the defense played phenomenally again. Linval Joseph gets the MVP of this game, though. Gurley, 89 yards with Sharif Floyd out. Tom Johnson's more of a pass-rushing defensive tackle, if anything. You don't have your middle linebacker, and then your backup middle linebacker gets hurt, so you put in your outside linebacker in there. So hands off to Linval. he showed up in a big way. So we need more games like that where we can just shut people down. I know that's probably not going to happen every week. We can't like I don't know if we can expect, especially with the upcoming schedule. I certainly don't expect this team to win every single game, but I do expect them to be in it for most, if not all of them. So, oh, I didn't even touch on the offensive side, did I? So the blocking was a lot better this game. I feel like AP's finally, like, he's officially back. You saw that explosive burst. You saw his speed come back. You saw everything that we're used to seeing Peterson do. Like, I think the rust is off, which came at the perfect time when you look at the rest of the schedule. So, and I know people who've been watching my videos know I'm not too much of a Mike Harris guy at guard, but he's starting to come around for me. I'm kind of liking this. He's put a nice stretch of games coming through. I still don't know of how they're gonna use this offensive line as a whole for next year, because I think at center you definitely got to put John Sullivan back in. But at right tackle is where I start to question things. Do you keep the Clemmings or you keep the Loadholt? But that's for another time. So Bridgewater didn't have the best stats in the world. So that's normal for this offense. The offense is built off the defense and the run game. It's not a flashy offense. Not at least until we get a real number one receiver. I know a lot of you people are going to be like, Diggs is amazing. He is. He is a really good receiver. Just he's not a number one. I think he is. We have a bunch of number twos. I think right now we have a bunch of number twos and guys who can who be a nice complement to a number one receiver that we don't have yet. So I think with those guys in, like, I do see Diggs as a key piece for this offense for the future. I really do. He is a nice route runner. He's not the biggest guy, but I know he has that breakaway speed, but he has that nice cutting and route running ability there. So I think he could be more of an underneath guy for Bridgewater to hang off of. And as long as we have AP in the back, so we can use him underneath and we're able to get a guy. That's what Mike Wallace was supposed to be, the over-the-top guy. So it could be working right now if Teddy starts to hit Mike Wallace. So if we can get that going, the team becomes deadly, because then you have to worry about Diggs underneath. You got to worry about Wallace over the top, and you got 28 in the back. So the second Teddy starts hitting these things, the offense becomes a lot more dynamic, and then where you're going to see us go from scoring around probably, 20 points a game, I think, to probably more around 25 to 27, I want to say. Probably in that range. I don't want to go up too far. I don't want to say 30. That'd be too much. But I do think with that added dynamic, they would go up quite a bit. So, and the defense has yet to let up 24 points. So the defense is still playing nicely. We have Green Bay struggling. That helps us they're both at 6-2 now. I think due to conference wins, they have the tiebreaker. I'm not entirely sure, even though we have more division wins, which I always thought that was weird how that worked. But anyway, Minnesota's for real now, I think. I think people are going to be able to say that they are for real. We're not going to have as much doubt. I hope this week is more, I don't want to say more focused on the hit than they are just kind of I don't know if they can do that. But when it comes to Minnesota. So I don't want to say that, but it will be nice when it comes up with our guys. It's going to be more of that, something that could be different for once, for this year anyway. So, and for upcoming weeks though, it's going to be a fight for a lot of weeks. Next week we're in Oakland. Green Bay comes to Minnesota. Then we go to Atlanta. We get Seattle in Minnesota. And then we go to Arizona on a Thursday night. That's a tough 5-game stretch. But I think most of those are winnable games. I'm not going to say they're not easy, obviously. No win in that league is easy. That's not a free win anywhere. These guys are all good. They're all paid for what they do. Like, they're all professional athletes. So it's not like any of these players are bad. So just in comparison to some other ones, it may be there's other levels. So I do think these are winnable games, though. In Oakland, they're stingy. It's kind of a trap game because I think we will be favored in this game. But Oakland plays extremely well at home. They have that crowd to go with them. In the Coliseum, they're a little different. Just look at them against the Jets, I think, 2 weeks ago. That's one of the best defenses in the league, and I think they put up 34 points on them. So don't take them for granted. That's a good football team. They don't have the best defense in the world, which I think we can take advantage of. But I think it's gonna be close again. That's how this. I know most of them have been close, except for the Charger game and probably the San Francisco game. So those are the only games that really have been close for Minnesota so far this year. And we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully Kendricks can play because Kendricks is a big part of the pass rushing. Everything about the pass rushing up the middle. Him and Barr. They're saying Barr should be back, even though he was in a cast. I feel like I don't think they've officially come out what it said, but to me it sounds like he has some kind of sore forearm thing going on. So I feel like he should be healthy enough to go. I'm thinking that hopefully that continues because we need some of our guys back, especially Sharif Floyd. We need Sharif Floyd back. So I don't know. I feel like Sharif Floyd is one of the more underrated defensive tackles in the entire league. So I feel like having him next to Linval. Plus, Everson is really good in the run game. So our run defense is really stout when we're fully healthy on that D-line. So having him back would really help us in the long run here, especially when you see some of the teams we face. Because I know Oakland has Latavius Murray, but he's hurt right now, and they don't know if he's playing next week. And then you have Green Bay. Green Bay does have Eddie Lacy. I know he's having a down year, but Eddie Lacy tends to have good games against us as of late. So, and then you also have James Starks behind him, another big back. So, and then right after that, you have Devontae Freeman in Atlanta. Then you have Marshawn Lynch against the Seahawks. Then you have Chris Johnson in the Arizona game. So getting Sharif Floyd back would be a major plus for the team. So that would benefit us in so many ways. Especially if we're able to get healthy at the right time, and we've set this up perfectly, going 6-2. So, and you could argue 7-1 they should be because I'm not even counting the San Francisco game with how they played that night. I think they didn't deserve to win, but I think that they are a better team from what we saw back in week 1. I don't see anything that is remotely close to that week 1 team. So now we go to now where I think we could. I'm not going to try to go back and say we should be this. But you could say we could be 7-1 almost. We were so close to that with that Denver game. So I don't know. That was when I kind of realized this is a real team. Is once that Denver game hit, and then we're only losing by 3 points to Denver in Denver with that defense that they had roaring off the edge, and our O-line was still trying to gel. We had no number 1 receiver. Our passing game was lacking, and Peterson still had the rust going on. We, so many different things going on here. So, and they still came within 3. That's when I started to realize this team is going to be good down the stretch, and now here we are sitting at 6-2. So, I want to know what you guys actually thought about that hit, though, because I know a lot of people are going to come out and say it's dirty. I know there are some people coming out saying he didn't have enough time to react. That's why I'm kind of maybe lay back off on this one. So I'm still saying that hit is what it is. You can't just say, well, but like you kind of have to. So I don't. You guys can decide for that. I'm not going to try to influence anything on that. But you could say I could almost see it both ways. Like I am a little biased. Well, yeah, but that is what that is. So I do think we're in good spot, but I know they're looking to get better, which is the good part. And another thing about this Ram game, this is that was such an important game on so many levels. I mean, we were in the sixth seed at before that game. With I know there is no seventh seed, but if there was, the Rams would be the seventh seed. So that's why that was crucial because I think for wild card, even that's for the NFC. That is one of the crucial games of the season. Winning that one gave the other team such an upper hand, especially with our schedule coming up. If we lost that, that would have been bad. So I think going 7-2. Well, yeah, like if we were able to go 7-2 here, that'll be good. But that Ram game though, like so many levels. Because I also think that was a game where this is two rising teams coming up from the dead almost. I mean, Minnesota hasn't been good in a while here. I know we've had our good years here and there, but we haven't been consistently good in a while. And then you have the Rams coming up. Like, I know they still have iffy quarterback play. It's Nick Foles. He's not necessarily. We know what he is, but they have Todd Gurley. He's a beast. And then you have one heck of a defense in there. So I feel like that's a matchup that could be like a playoff game kind of thing going on for a long time if Minnesota and St. Louis continue to develop how they are right now. These could be two of the new powerhouses, perhaps. Maybe? Is it too early to say that? Because I think with how this defense is coming along, if Teddy Bridgewater takes some steps, I don't see how you don't do that. And plus, I know people are going to be like, well, you won't have Adrian Peterson forever. And they're right, we won't. He's 30 years old. He's in the back end of his career. But I do believe in Jerick McKinnon. I think that is the replacement once we get to the end of HP. I know some people are going to be like, what? But hear me out on this. I think you can obviously do more with Jerick McKinnon than you can Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson is the Hall of Fame running back. I got that. He is one of the best players to ever play this game, possibly. I know. But for the kind of offense they're going to be running with Teddy Bridgewater out of these shotguns and spread formations, Jerick McKinnon is the better running back. Last time I checked, Peterson doesn't run too well out of those spread and shotgun looks. McKinnon did last year. Remember all last year? He was averaging about 4.8 yards a carry. He can do it, and I also feel like you can line him out in the slot. Sometimes you can line him out wide, and then you can put in another power running back or a blocking back there maybe. And you can utilize him in different ways. So I feel like McKinnon could be the answer after AP, even though it's not going to be necessarily a feature back, because I feel like we drafted the quarterback for a reason. AP is towards the end of his career. We're going to have to lean on the arm of Teddy Bridgewater at some point. So that's all I'm going to say about this. I know I rambled a little bit in this one, as this is a little bit of a longer video. I'm sorry if you guys don't have enough time to watch it, but that is what it is. Farewell.